All right, peeps. This is Brandon with Plumber's Digest here. This is going to be a video of what I think are the best compact lights for any plumber or really anyone working in the trades. There might even be a flashlight or two in here that would just be perfect general EDC or something to keep in the car or the truck. Some of these flashlights, or there's a mixture of flashlights in this grouping that I have that are either pocket lights or maybe a bag light that you carry on or in your bag. And then all of these flashlights that are on the list are LED. So first things first, let's get started with a flashlight that I'm actually really impressed with. My in-laws bought me this light. I didn't really know about it. I know the Nebo brand. When I started plumbing a long time ago, they were selling Nebo flashlights at plumbing supply houses. A lot of their stuff was like patent pending. I don't know exactly what that was, but to be honest with you, I don't think they were very good flashlights. I did have some that I purchased a long time ago that broke on me quite quickly. I don't know what the warranties or anything like that were on them, but I just thought they were poorly made. However, I've had a few since then, and like I said, I did get this one recently, but I've used it around the house, and it's got some really cool features, and all around, it's pretty nice flashlight. So let's get into some of the specs. So it's 1000 lumens. It's got the rear button on the back to turn it on. Also has this adjustable head, so you can adjust the light. You can get pretty small. It's pretty cool. Also, right here, and you can use it one-handed, you can change the brightness. One click at a time. Last one is strobe. So, pretty nice light. It is IP67 water resistant and dust resistant. It's got a magnetic charging base, which is always nice. Also, the battery is removable, so it breaks away right here, kind of towards the top, underneath the selector. It's an 18650 battery. Yep, 18650, 2000 milliamp. This is really nice because this is a pretty common battery. A lot of flashlights have this battery. Just a common battery that you can just, pop this one out, pop a new one in, and you're good to go if you carry these batteries with you every day. Really nice. It's got 4 different light modes. I think the lowest can last up to 20 hours at 100 lumens. All the light modes are 1000 lumens, medium is 400 lumens, low is 100 lumens, and then the strobe is the 4th light mode, which also runs at 1000 lumens, and that'll last for about 2 hours. The high 1000 lumens lasts about 2 hours, medium lumens will last about 5 hours, and low is 20 hours. It does have a charging port right here at the back, which is hidden, so you just kind of twist this part to reveal. It's a little hideaway port. It is micro USB, which is kind of a bummer, but again, not a big deal. You can swap out the batteries and the magnetic charging base, so you don't really need to plug anything into it, to be honest with you. But yeah, really nice, pretty hefty. I'd say it weighs maybe a pound. And this thing runs, I believe, anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks, I believe, at any given time. So good light. Just to show you, test on the ammo can. Sorry, this thing was in the way. It is magnetic. So, really nice light. All right, next up, we got this little baby, I guess you could say cousin, brother. That's the Nebo Einstein 600. This is a really cool flashlight. It can be used as like a little pocket light. This thing like rotates around, so you can put this on your hat. They kind of advertise it as like a little headlamp, which is really cool. The button is on the top on this one, so it's pretty cool. It's got a few different modes. Battery indicator on top. It does have strobe as well. So it's 600 lumens, but that's only the turbo mode is what they call it. And that only lasts for about 10 seconds, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to test it out. This thing gets super hot in turbo mode. But it's IPX4 water resistant, so that's just like, you know, splashing water on it would be okay. That's pretty much it. It does have a magnetic charging base, which is really nice. Here is the little charger for it. So a lot of other lights kind of do this, but it's a little puck basically. That also means that you can stick it to, you know, some metal, so you can work whatever, maybe really cool, and use it for pocket clip. It can 600 lumens, like I said, lasts for about 10 seconds. 300 lumens is what you'd run it at pretty much from the high setting, which will last about 2 hours. 150 lumens for 6 hours. It can run on 10 lumens as well for 18 hours. And then it does have a red setting, which is nice, and that'll last for about 5 hours, which is 12 lumens. You can also remove the battery on this one as well, which is nice. Not as common as like the 18650, but it's a 16340 700 milliamp battery, which is nice, milliamp hour. So yeah, runs around 25 to 30 bucks. Cool little light. Next up, I'm gonna throw a beater in here. A lot of people probably haven't heard of this. I'm pretty sure that I think they still make them. I think they only made this one for a long time. This is the J5 Tactical Pro. I think they might have made one more. I'm not sure, made a new one. I don't know what it is, but I've had this flashlight for a really long time. It's like kind of the old trusty. It's not very appealing. It's kind of ugly looking, but that's why it's called a tactical flashlight. I guess it kind of looks tactical. But it claims 300 lumens. I think the battery's maybe getting close to dying. I don't know, but I haven't used this in a while. But I don't feel like it's 300 lumens. Again, it might be. I have no idea. I just don't feel like it is. I know some companies will claim certain things or whatever, but what is nice for some people and myself, I really like this too, is that it's just a single AA battery that you can just pop in and out. Just kind of old school, which is nice. Nice aluminum body, which the other ones were aluminum too. It's got 3 modes: high, low, strobe. It's LED, of course, and then this one's around, like I said, it's an old beater, so it's kind of cheaper, but it's 20 bucks, $20 flashlight. You might find something comparable to this. I'm not sure. I just know that this has lasted a really long time for me. I used it for a really long time, and then I just put it in like a shelf or a drawer somewhere. So yeah, this is a good flashlight. Next up is another, you could say, kind of beater. From, I guess, a lot more well-known brand, Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee products. I had this flashlight for a really long time. It's really simple. It's only 100 lumens, which is, it's dead right now, I think, I guess. Yeah. But it's only 100 lumens. It's LED, but it has their True View, I believe, True View filter, which I really like. I don't really like how blue like a lot of LED lights are. I mean, it's good for work lights and stuff like that, but I just like kind of seeing things as they are, not too bright. It does have a little compartment on the back. You just unthread it, and it's got, I think it's two AAA batteries. Why is this stuck in here? This thing's stuck. Well, that's okay. I haven't used this in a long time, so I'd have to pry that out. Anyways, 2 AAA batteries. Not much else to say about this. Aluminum housing, 100 lumens, like I said, but that's pretty much all there is to this. It's got like this rubberized, you know, stuff on the back. You know, you could kind of bite down on it. That's what I used it for. I stopped doing that after a certain amount of time because it started getting pretty nasty. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Nice little cheap flashlight, but still works if I can get those batteries out. Next light, one of my personal favorites. I carried this light for a long time too. is a little expensive. I think it's still a little expensive, but I haven't had any problems with it. As you can see, I've carried it for, quite a long time. This is pulling it in and out of my pocket and stuff, but this is Milwaukee's rechargeable pen light, 250 lumen. So 250 lumens max. It does have the True View filter on it as well. It is rechargeable, micro USB, which is kind of a bummer, but not that big of a deal. It's IP54, water and dust rated. It does have a battery light indicator, which this one's almost dead as well. Obviously, blinking red means it's almost dead. It's green if it's fully charged. And then it is orange if it's, got half of its battery life or less, I guess, on it. Runs up to 8 hours, I believe. It's got 2 light modes. You can cycle through them with like a soft press. So let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there it went. So 2 light modes, so 8 hours for the 250 lumens, and I believe the other one is 150 or 100 lumens, something like that. Another cool thing about this light that I actually really like is that it has a laser on it. I love that. This is great, just a great little pocket light. It's real slim. It can last, quite a long time. Like I said, 8 hours on the lower setting. But again, it is quite expensive in my opinion. So it runs around $50 if I'm not mistaken. That's like when it's not on sale. So that's, and I don't know if I've ever seen it on sale, but not yet. But this is a very nice light. I think it's totally worth it, but it is kind of expensive. So moving on, we'll go to one of my other favorites. Surprise, surprise, Milwaukee. This is their pivoting flashlight. I think the model number is 2113-21. It is, I love this flashlight. You can see, obviously, this has had a lot of wear on this too. I mean, I believe this used to be white. It's pretty dirty, but I love this flashlight. The head on it pivots, which is really nice, 90 degrees. You got, you turn it on and then you can change or cycle through your modes with this mode button. So you got flash and like your flashlight and your flood mode on here, or spotlight, sorry, in flood mode. The flood mode has 2 different settings. The spotlight on it is just one setting, and it's 500 lumens with the spotlight. This also has the True View filters on it. You can see the yellow filters on it. I just love that. I think that's a genius idea. I'm not sure if other flashlights do that, or companies do that, but I really like that. Like I said, I don't like how blue like some LED flashlights are. So for them to put that filter in there, it's just, I don't know, I really like that. This one also has a magnetic base, fairly strong too. It has, this one's got the red lithium technology. So it's a red lithium, I think 3-point amp-hour battery in here. So I think it's just a quarter turn and then you can just pull it out, but it's red lithium USB. I believe it's their 3 amp, 2.5 amp hour battery, sorry. But you can swap these batteries. It is proprietary, so some people might not like that because you kind of have to invest in, I think some of their other tools or something, maybe flashlights have this kind of battery, but that is something to note, is that this is a kind of proprietary system. So you can't just throw like any kind of flashlight in there if you want, or battery in there if you want. But again, it's a very nice flashlight. It does pivot, like I said. So we're looking at, on the low flood setting, it can last up to 12 hours, which is 100 lumens, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 10 hours. Yeah, I think it's 10 hours for 100 lumens. 500 lumens can last 2.5 hours, and again, the spot is the 500 lumens. And then on the high flood, which is 400 lumens, can last 3 hours. So that's nice. Also, another thing to note about this is what I haven't really paid attention, but what Milwaukee claims is this thing can charge extremely fast, up to 80%, I think, in an hour or less. It does have the battery indicator and stuff on it as well. And I think I'm not sure if I remember if I showed you, but it's micro USB charging port, which is a bummer. But again, if you have the extra batteries, it's nice. Very expensive light as well. It's a lot more robust than the previous light, than the pin light, but you get a lot more, I think, in my opinion, with the pivoting head. It's brighter, removable batteries, and it doesn't cost that much more than, like I said, the previous pin light for 50 bucks. This thing costs around 75, 80 bucks. I definitely think that this is worth it for this flashlight. I've had this flashlight for a really long time and have no problems with it. So definitely one of my favorite flashlights. All right, moving on. Probably my favorite flashlight here, to be honest with you. It's got really cool features. And this is pretty much a general EDC carry amongst a lot of people, not just people in the trades and stuff, but this is the Olight Warrior Mini 2. 1750 lumens. I mean, that's insane in my opinion. Is this thing dead too? I don't think it's dead. Well, while we're in here, 18650, so very common, which is awesome. A lot of people have these batteries laying around. 3500 milliamp battery, 3.6 volts. That's insane. That's why this thing can last for so freaking long. Oh, I probably have it locked out, which I'll tell you about that here in a second. So insane. 1750 lumens. This thing can last, it has a magnetic charging base, which is very similar to the Nebos. Here's their puck for that. I think it takes about 3.5 hours to charge, but it's a massive battery. It is a magnetic base as well, which is really nice. So let me go through the specs real quick before I turn this thing on, or some of the lumens and how long it can run. So 1750 max, and then 500, 200, 120, 15, and then 1 lumen. And that 1 lumen, you can put this thing where it's shining at 1 lumen, and it can last 45 days. That's insane. I think the 15 lumen can last 160 hours or something like that, 170 hours. So I had it on lockout. So you can press this thing, and I believe you hold it. Let me press it and hold it. Oh, maybe I've forgotten how to do it. This is kind of embarrassing. Well, that's kind of how you cycle through things. You just hold this button down, and you can cycle through your different lumens and then get to your 1 lumen setting. But you can essentially, you got a strobe as well by double clicking on it, but you can essentially lock this thing out, and embarrassingly enough, I've forgotten how to do it. But what it'll do is, it'll just lock this flashlight out where you can't turn this thing on accidentally, like in your pocket. And this light will be red whenever you try to click. It does have a rear button as well on the bottom, sorry. So it's got 2 different buttons, and this one kind of cycles through all the modes. But I did have the Warrior Mini 1, I believe, and I don't recall if it had some kind of function or setting on it, like a safety setting like this one does, the lockout setting. But I remember I had that thing in my pocket, and it melted like my pocket. Like, it started burning. The only reason I caught it is because I started smelling something. And I'm surprised I didn't start feeling something first, to be honest with you. But it got so hot that it started burning my pocket. And then I was like, oh shit. And so I pulled it out, and it was super hot, and dropped it on the ground. My pocket was all melted up. So it was pretty insane. But yeah, if they didn't have that one on the first one, I'm really glad they added it to this iteration of it. And I think they have like a 3rd iteration of this, and then they got a bunch of different other ones because Olight's awesome. But yeah, so it does have that lockout setting, which is really nice. Everything about this light is just super, it's quality. This thing has a waterproof setting, if I'm not mistaken. It's a IPX8, I believe, and that's that's waterproof. So I don't know how many meters, but super nice. And like I said, you can put it on like 1 lumen. That's basically like their survival mode, I guess. You can put it on 1 lumen and it'll last 45 days, which is insane. Totally worth the high price of this thing, which usually runs between 80 and 90 bucks. but this thing is super worth it. I mean, you can beat this thing to hell and it's still gonna last. So sorry I didn't see how to put that the lockout function on it. But last but not least, this is the light that I currently carry with me. This is my bag light, which I carry I carry several flashlights with me. I love flashlights, but this is the one that I carry on my tool bag. And this is a Harbor Freight Special Icon Foldable Slim Bar Work Light. This thing's really nice. I haven't had it like too terribly long, but this is I got this on sale at Harbor Freight. I think this thing's usually around 40 bucks, but they had it on sale for like $25 or $27, something like that. But totally worth it in my opinion. I think Bauer or Braun, or I can't remember what the other Harbor Freight brand is, but they make a similar flashlight to this. But this, I have some Icon tools, and they're actually really nice tools from Harbor Freight. Say what you want about Harbor Freight, but they do make some pretty nice tools. Icon especially makes some nice tools, but they have good beater tools and stuff like that there too at Harbor Freight for good prices and good warranties. But let's get into this light. It does pivot 180 degrees, this bar light right here, which is really nice. I do like when you close it. I think this is magnetic right here, and so it kind of holds it closed a little bit, I guess. But yeah, this is all aluminum. It is IP54 water resistant. Here's your recharge. It's USB-C, which is really nice. I forgot about that. I haven't even had this light long enough to charge it. It's USB-C charging port, which is really nice. You know, that's new, and a lot of people will have this charger laying around now, if not in the near future. So that's really nice. It does have the battery light indicator here. Sorry, the buttons on the side. So that's really nice. And that's how you go through your different modes. You just click the button, keep clicking this button, and go through your different modes. I think the longest run time on this thing on the lowest setting is 8.5 hours. It's got 3 different settings, but 2 of the lights have 2 different settings on it. So I believe this cob light and this backlight right here have 2 different settings. You know, the brightest and then the lower setting. And then you have this little LED on top, which is really nice. Acts like a flashlight. So you can just hold this thing like this and just use this thing as like a regular point and shoot flashlight, which is really nice. And then you gotta cycle through the rest of them and turn it off. But I do like that. You can just walk in there and use it like this. Obviously, if you're working on something, you can just stick it to it, turn it on, turn this one on. It's gonna go through its next setting, and then the backlight right here, which has 2 settings again, and then we're off again. This does have I wouldn't call it a removable battery. I think you can if you know what you're doing. Take these set screws out, pull out the battery. I think it's soldered on, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't gone into it, but I think I saw somebody taking it apart. But so it's not the easiest to take out. If you know what you're doing, it might be easy, but it's not convenient, basically. Most people will probably just buy another one. Hopefully this will last long enough to make it worth it for somebody to buy another one. Also, another thing to say about this real quick is that out of every flashlight that has a magnetic base that's on this list, this is by far the strongest one. This thing is insanely strong. Like, it's pretty hard just to pull off. So if that's something that you like in a flashlight, I'd definitely go with this one. And the price, like I said, 25, 27 bucks, I think, on the low end. That was on sale. I think it's normally like 50 or 40 bucks, which still is pretty good. You got a lot of light here for that price. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for all the flashlights that I have that I think are the best. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what flashlight you guys carry every day for EDC, on your work bag or in your bag, in your pocket. What do you think is the best flashlight? These are my favorite. Let me know, guys.